Pin-Sanity!
Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Stop the Pin-Sanity! So, I haven't done some videos this month. I was going to start at the beginning of October doing all my Halloween ones, but my mother-in-law passed away. She helped us with the skeleton tutorial that everybody seems to really love. She passed away unexpectedly. So, the first half of October was just insane in trying to comfort my children. So here it is, a week and one day from Halloween, and I haven't made the costumes yet. And my kids are like, Mommy, you haven't done the costume tutorials. So we're gonna get started on that right now. My youngest, who is 6, she wants to be Maleficent, but she wants to be young Maleficent, like the little girl version, which is perfect. So we are going to today, I have several tutorials to do for this costume, but today's is going to be the wings. And I got really lucky. I found this seller on eBay and I got all these feathers for like 20 bucks. So it's going to be more than enough feathers to do these wings. I'm not doing them full length to the ground because I want her to be able to sit down in the car to go trick-or-treating when we drive around. So they're going to come to about her hips, and I'm going to show you how to do that. These are just little goose quill feathers. They're brown, and they've got some really good, because they're real feathers, coloration to them. I think they're going to be perfect for this tutorial. So I'm going to get all set up, change things around so you can see kind of what I'm doing, and we're going to get started. Okay, well, we have a pretty big tutorial ahead of us today because this is going to be quite the project. So I'll be doing a lot of fast forwarding so that you don't have to see every single feather laid down. What I first did is I went ahead and got these wonderful pieces of cardboard from my Amazon Prime boxes. Gotta love them for sending boxes that are impossible to use again because they're so big. But they make good tools, so I'm not complaining. I measured my daughter. I wanted the curve to go a bit above her shoulder because you want it to be seen from in front as well as behind. And measured this to go down to just before her waist because we're going to have some feathers hanging down. And so I cut it out, and then I've traced it again on this other piece, and we're going to cut that out. Additionally, I cut a little piece because we need a way to not only attach the wings together but also tie them onto my daughter. So we're going to do that later on, but I want you to know you're going to need a little extra piece, and you're not going to want to put feathers on this. So, but we'll get to that. So right now we're going to cut out the other wing, and then we can start on feathers. All right, so I started to draw on this side, but I didn't want the number to be distracting, so don't let my line distract you. Now I didn't put them to a very fine point because the feathers are going to hang over, so I'm not really worried about that. Now here we have my little spare piece, and what this is going to do is it's going to attach these wings together, and this cardboard is bendy enough that it will make it, you know, naturally bend a little bit. And then I put some little dots because that's where ribbon is going to go through. But I don't want to do that yet because that's going to make placing the feathers harder. So what I did was I marked off where this is going to go. And we want it to be on the inside because then we can cover the back with more feathers so that nobody can tell. So just make it even up a little bit. Yeah. Where is the top edge? I swear. Okay. You want your wings to look even. You don't want lopsided wings. Where's it moved? And then okay, and we're going to save this piece for later. But this line right here, I swear, I wish I hadn't done that. That'll show us where that's going to go. So we don't want to put feathers there because that'll just make it harder to attach. Okay. So now, like I said before, I got tons and tons of these feathers from a wonderful person on eBay that apparently did not have any use for them. So I am going to have a great use for them. And I love, where are my tools? The look that this is going to give, because it's going to make it actually look really full the way I'm going to do it. Pardon me while I grab my tools that I didn't bring over here. I got these jewelry pliers because what we're going to do is we're actually going to bend each feather before we glue it down, because that'll make it pop up a little bit and it'll make the wing look more natural and more full. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay, so you're going to start at the bottom because as you go, you're going to want to layer and cover these stems. Don't ever start at the top. You're going to ruin it. So, a little hot glue. And you are definitely going to need a lot of glue sticks for this. And if you have overly sensitive fingers, I'm sincerely sorry. Now, the feathers, you're going to want them having kind of going this direction until about here. But you'll see as I do it how I get it in. So, this is where all that fancy fast forwarding is going to come into play. As you can see, it's kind of a long and tedious process, but as you can see from the side, it's already getting a lot of depth, which is awesome, because then when we get this side, it's going to be much thicker than looking like a cardboard piece. So I'm still on my first package of feathers though, so that's good because I've got like 10 more, if not more than that. So just keep plucking away. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I know. Okay, right here, since this is going to be right behind the back, you don't necessarily have to put feathers here. If you wanted to, if you're just very adamant, you could clip the stems and glue on the back right here. And yes, you're hearing jingle bells. I have a new puppy who rings the bells to go out, but she just likes to go out and play. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to clip the stem, which flies across the room. Just glue the first little top area and just put it in right there. But like I said, this is going to be behind your back, so unless you are just like adamant about how authentic you want this to be, you're going to be fine with that. So now I'm going to fill up the rest. Okay, so I have filled in most of this beautiful wing. It's crazy because it just feels like a pretty bird wing. And as you get to the top, you're going to notice, see, I've already started clipping shorter some of these stems because it's just simply, they're too long. And I've also left a little gap here because in Maleficent's costume, she has kind of these little, almost like horns on her wings. So I want to try to make some of those because after all, this is authentic. Now, if you're doing angel wings for any reason, obviously you're not going to need these because these don't look exactly angelic with the little horn, but you can do everything else. And I'm just filling in the last few spots before we're gonna have to worry about the little horn things. Okay, so I went ahead and made one of these horns, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. And it'll just slide on there, and then we'll glue it down, and there'll be feathers involved. But I'm first going to show you how to make it, or how I made it. So I just got some cardstock, just white cardstock, nothing fancy, and it was an 8 by 10 piece. I cut it in half, folded it and cut it in half. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold or curl into a cone. But then instead of just continuing to let this keep wrapping around, I did a little fold so it's more clean. Trash pile's getting big. And having issues here. My hands don't want to work. Okay. Then you're just gonna hot glue that edge. And then lose the edge. Okay. So then you have your little horn. And then what I did is keeping the fold in the back. I angled it. So this one's angled one way, so the other one needs to be angled the other way. So it's okay to flatten it because it'll pop back. And I screwed it up. But it's alright. Yeah, I just made it too short. But that's alright. I can need to make this one sharper anyway. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a little cut there. And a little cut there. And it'll make it slide onto this better because it'll have a little opening. It's up to you whether you want that fold to be in the front or the back. I like it in the back. And then you're going to kind of puff it just a little bit and glue it just in the centers so that it has a little shape. It's not just a flat piece of paper. Because then these end pieces, if I can slide it on there, good grief. There we go. It'll give it some puff. Or you can actually glue the ends, I guess, and then stuff that full of feathers. We might try that. And anyway, that's how you're going to make your little horns for the wings. So now we're getting to the end of the wing, and that's where things get more difficult, like I said. I don't know how long that is. Curve. So I'm going to bite the bullet and glue this down, and hopefully not screw it up. So I'm gluing this end down. So there you have it. And what we'll do is glue feathers around this as well, so that it looks more like it's supposed to be there. And then what we'll do is we'll add a little paint to kind of texture it, give it a little more natural look. Okay, so we're here at the end, and like I said, things are starting to get a little more tight. Trying to make sure everything covers up well, because you don't want to get to the end and then be like, oh my god, where am I supposed to go now, because I can't keep going up. And that's what I'm going to show you. I picked some feathers out as I was going, ones that are particularly curved the direction I'm going to want them to go. That way it's going to look natural. But we got to fill up the rest up to the tip just about, just so that everything's filled out. Also, I was going to tell you, if you want to take a little extra insurance policy so that you don't have to make, you know, if you miss a spot, you can always paint your cardboard first, the brown, or if you're making angel wings, white. That way any gaps, that won't show through as much, because like you can see right here, if I didn't do that, they would show for sure. And then I'm gonna put some up into the little cone piece. So now we're at the top curve. Like I said, we want this to look good because, you know, like I said, wings don't just stop abruptly, they have some curve to them. So I picked out feathers that have kind of a curve to them themselves, and we're going to place them just so. And we're probably going to have to clip them too to make sure they fit properly. So here's the side that'll be against her back, so you'll be able to see some parts of it. And now I need to do it to the back of this and then do the other one. So once I get those, I will move on to the attaching them step and all that other beautiful stuff. Okay, so after over 3 hours of just putting feathers on, we have the wings completely front and back covered. I think they look amazing. As you can see, hardly any edge. If you have little spots like this, you can always go in if it's really going to bother you and put like an extra feather in there. And now we're going to move on to the rest. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Okay, so the little horns are not solid white. They start kind of getting darker on here and then they get white as they go up. So I got some Folk Art Artist Pigment. This is 485 Raw Umber. It's not a very pretty color. It kind of looks like something I'd find in a diaper. But it's a dark brown, which is what I was wanting. And so got a nice little paintbrush here, and what I'm going to do is get most of the paint off, because we don't want to glop it on, we're going to tap it on. So let's start with wing number 1 here. And what we're going to do is tap around the base to give it more of a realistic, not just stark white look. So there you go. Looks a little bit better, not so stark, looks more natural, especially from a distance. So now the big step is to connect these two together and make it where it's attachable to my daughter. So Like I said earlier, I made this little thing here. And I think first what I'm gonna do is bend it just a bit. Just want it to be kind of aligned. I had made a line earlier where it would attach to this. So I'll do that on both sides. That way, I mean, the wings can be not just flat against the back, especially because, I mean, that would maybe be uncomfortable. So they can be moved just a bit. Okay, so I have these little hole marks. I'm going to make those real quick, hopefully without damaging myself. 200 and 250 feathers, so this is not a quick project, but I feel like it's well worth it. Of course, everybody's different. Okay, so these are going to line up like this. Where's my ribbon? There it is. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have two spots that it attaches. Well, three technically. We're going to have these looping through that's going to attach around her arms. Then the one in the center is going to come out big and attach across her chest, giving her extra stability. So the ones for the arms, to try to get this through here, we're going to loop through the bottom. On you. And loop it through the top. We have our two sides that'll go around our arms. We'll do that. And then this is going to be for around the chest. Okay, so we have all our wonderful pieces that are going to tie onto the costume. Now you want to make sure on this back side that everything's good and flat, because it's going to be glued down to keep it in place and to give it a little bit of strength. Okay, so here's the fun part. Start on this side. See that spot I laid out for you? Well, that's where that's going to be glued onto. So get a fresh glue stick, because this is going to take a lot of glue. And that will make the wings flyable. So now, so much ribbon. Here's where, if you wanted to, you could add feathers here, which I have extra, so you know what? I might as well do it. That way it feels a little more real. And these will probably have to all be cut, because there's not going to be a whole lot of extra room. But once we get that covered up, it'll look a lot better. And this is made so it can either be put on the outside of the costume, or if you want to, on the inside. What I'm going to do is actually slit in the back and let the ribbons go through, because it's cold around Halloween here, so I really don't want to have to make a huge slit. And I'll go ahead and finish this up and have my daughter put it on. Okay, so we have put the wings on her. Right now you can see the ties because like I said, this is going to go underneath her dress through a little slit in the back, so nobody will actually be able to see them. But turn around, honey. As you can see, I went ahead and put feathers over the little connector, and I actually got some Marabou feathers in brown as well, and went ahead and added those right there and right there, kind of some of the rougher spots. Here. As you can see, the wings just hit her right about her rear end, so she can actually still sit down, so when we drive around and go trick-or-treating, we don't have to worry about her setting on her wings and damaging her costume or being uncomfortable. Turn back around. So this project took about 5 hours to complete. It's definitely not a, oh, I think I'll make this on a whim thing. You definitely have to be prepared and want to do this kind of costume. But do you like it? Mm-hmm. All right, well, I hope you like this tutorial. I'll be also doing some tutorials on Maleficent's horns, which I'll do with her, and as well as the dress. So this will actually be 3 tutorials just for the Maleficent costume, and I have a lot more costumes coming up. I'm going to be busy the next week. So until next time, can you say bye?
Bye.